Welcome to the DMF. I am your host, Justin Yance. This is episode 21, and we're going to talk about what's going on in my life. We're going to talk about the film Tenet. We're going to talk about Greg Braden, wisdom codes. We're going to talk a little bit about empathy, and we're going to talk a bit about politics and the debates. So, stay tuned. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what's going on in my life. Well, a lot of interesting things have happened. I, at the time, right now, am making a short film. I know, I can't believe it myself, but I am. I'm taking some stories from Richard III, and I've combined those, and I am making a short film. So that's been taking up a lot of my time. It's just been, a lot of meticulous planning, a lot of learning about lighting, a lot about sound, figuring out how I'm going to edit everything. So I've been, really crafting that and putting that together. And I got to be honest with you, I'm really enjoying the process of filmmaking, because I've always seen it from the actor's point of view, and now I'm seeing it from the director's point of view. Now, I always have learned about directors and writers and understanding how they saw things. So it's not a huge shock to me, but it's still different because, now you're looking back at it and going, okay, here's the camera, here's this. And one of the things I don't want this short film to be is I don't want it to be another pedestrian short film that some, student film did. That's not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in shooting something that is going to be really cinematic and look unique and different, taking the characters of Richard III. And I'll give you a little hint, Lady Anne, as well. So, juggling all those pieces together has been pretty time consuming. I know I'm kind of repeating myself here, but I'm trying to get to the point here. So it's been a lot about learning about the sound and, realizing, oh, wait a minute, the microphones I have, they don't really work. I need that. Oh, this light, we need more light here. And then trying to do something with candlelight and putting those there and seeing how that lines up and making sure the shot is symmetrically shot, like the symmetry's perfect, and how to, light certain things, lighting faces. So a lot of these things I'm learning about as well as doing. I mean, we're in the rehearsal process right now. I think we're on schedule to probably shoot in the next 2 weeks, hopefully. And then I will shoot the last scene, and then I'll have enough, and I will cobble it together. The short film will probably be 10 to 15 minutes. I'm thinking probably 15, but it could be shorter, it could be longer, but that's what we're aiming for. I may go back and put more scenes in there if I feel that is necessary, but right now I feel what I have done is really working well and is going to fit the mood. Because as I said, I can't stress this enough. I don't want it to be just boring shots of like this here. It's like there's got to be action here. So I've taken like similar scenes from that, and I'm like, okay, this is how you do it in a play, but how would you do it on, through film? Would you have them sitting? Would you have them talking? There needs to be some kind of action to move it through, because the film, the camera is the stage. That is going to set the mood. That is going to set everything. That is your eyes into the world. So it's very important that I capture things in a way that, will lend itself to the eye and be pleasing. So that's what I'm working on. I'm taking a short film, and I'm taking Richard III, and I'm making a short film out of it. I'm not doing all of Richard III, but I'm taking enough points that I can make the point that I want to make. And I'm enjoying this process. I have a wonderful actress that I'm working with. There's that word again. Her name is Karen Cry. If you need a wonderful actress, how many times can we say it? Please look her up. She really knows her stuff, and I think it's going to be great. I mean, one of the reasons why this is a little delayed by a day is because of rehearsal for this short film. So that's a little bit about what I'm doing with the short film. I don't want to go on much further than that because I don't have much else to say about it, but I'm very excited about the project. I'm excited that I took it on. I mean, right now the theaters are all closed. We got to start using our imagination, and that's what I'm doing. I'm taking film, I'm taking my camera, I'm taking lighting, and I'm creating the world that I had in my head, and I think it's going to be a real treat when you see this. So that is what I am doing. So let's move on to the movie I saw 4 times this week. So, I just saw the film Tenet. Today was my 4th time seeing it. I don't know if some of you know, but Regal Theaters are closing the doors till December. So I went and rushed and saw it. I saw it in the IMAX, I saw it in the 4DX, and I saw it in the RPX, which is basically the IMAX as well. I think it's a little bit better sound. So this is a great film. I was really impressed. Great set pieces, great story. I think Christopher Nolan just keeps getting better and better. Like, a lot of people thought Dunkirk was really concise and perfect. Interstellar was wonderful. I mean, he's just built such a career. And this is a film, I think this is his best film. And after seeing it 4 times, I think I can say that. Because it's just, you can't really, I couldn't take anything out. I wouldn't add anything else. And it's a 2-hour film. And unfortunately, the United States did not get this film till September. And I didn't get to see it till October. Because that's when Charlotte, North Carolina's movie theaters opened. So I saw it 3 times at Regal, and then I found out AMC 22 Pavilion is open, so I went and saw it today, and I might see it again this week. And this is just, what a film with so much depth. I mean, he filmed in Denmark, he filmed in Estonia, he filmed in India, he filmed in Italy, he filmed in Norway, the United Kingdom, and the United States. That is amazing. Some of the set pieces that he used are just outstanding. I can't say enough about what he did here. I'm going to talk a little bit about the film, and then I'm going to go into spoilers, because I can't talk about this film without going into the spoilers, and I'm going to give you a little timetable so that you know exactly where it is exactly that I stop that I start the spoilers, and then I'll tell you when it's off, so that if you don't want to listen to that part of it. The cinematographer was Hoyt van Hoytem, who also did Interstellar. He did, let's look at his thing. He did Let the Right One In. That's an awesome film. He did The Fighter, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, Her, the James Bond film Spectre, Ad Astra, Dunkirk, Interstellar, and now Tenet. And he is just amazing. I can't say enough good things about this. Now, this stars John David Washington, Robert Pattinson, Elizabeth Debicki, Dimple Kabadia. I don't know how to pronounce her name. This is the first time I've seen her before, and I thought she was terrific. Michael Caine and Kenneth Branagh. And there's some other actors that I'm going to mention as well, but those are the people that are on the poster. I thought John David Washington, who was in the film Black Klansman, is an awesome actor. He really knows what he's doing. And he, as some of you may not know, that is Denzel Washington's son. So after seeing this 4 times, I started hearing the Denzel voice coming in. See, he has that. You can hear that voice. Robert Pattinson has turned into such a unique actor. He continues to get better. I mean, it really started with Good Times. Is it Good Time? Or is it Good Times or is it Good Time? I'm going to make sure here. We're doing this on the fly here because this is the one where I don't really... Yeah, here we go. Let's look at his thing. So, after Twilight, he kind of took a break. He did Bel Ami, and then he did Cosmopolis. And that's where I really started him. Oh, and then he still had to do Twilight movies. But Cosmopolis is where I really started to see Robert Pattinson just morph into a different kind of actor. He did The Rover, Map of the Stars. He worked with David Cronenberg once again, who also did Cosmopolis. And I'm going to do a Cosmopolis, go in depth on that movie because I think that is a fantastic film. A lot of people don't like it, but we're going to talk about it. Map of the Stars, Queen of the Desert, did film The Lost City of Z, Good Time. It's Good Time. Sorry, High Life. That was great. The Lighthouse. He had a little part in The King. Tenet. The Tenet is gonna, people are gonna really love him. And then The Devil All the Time. I haven't seen that yet, but I heard he is. I'm trying to think of another word for sensational. He is sensational in that film. And then now he's going to be Batman in The Batman. So a lot of great things from Mr. Robert Pattinson. Just can't say enough good things about him. Elizabeth Debicki, she's a British actress. Terrific all around. Oh wow, this is the first time I saw her in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. She's the woman in all gold. I just realized that. Huh. She's awesome in that. So, okay, that's the first time I saw her. I thought it was Widows, which she did an awesome job in that. It's hard to come up with words when they're just doing such a terrific job on everything than trying to come up with. I guess the first time she really did, she was in The Great Gatsby. She had a supporting role in that. So she's been around a while, but and she did The Maids and Sydney Theatre Company. Okay, that's another thing I heard about that she did. But Widows is where I really took notice of her. She did the television series The Night Manager and Tenet. She's just... let's see if I can think of some more words for fantastic. Let's look up some words for fantastic in the... I can't keep saying fantastic over and over again, but there's nothing else to compare this to. It's a tremendous... She's a tremendous actor. There we go. We got some more words here. I have to sit here with a list of words because I got nothing bad to say about these people. Dimple Kapadia, who she was discovered at the age of 14 by Raj Kapoor, a famous Bollywood actor. Wow. Let's see if she's done, how many American films she's done. Wow. So she's a really successful Bollywood actor. Let's see here. Yeah, she plays Priya in Tenet. So I guess this may be her first United States film or British film. So I thought she was, what did I say? Phenomenal. She's a phenomenal actress. Michael Caine is in that. He's always great. What more can you say? Kenneth Branagh. I thought he really impressed me. He plays a... we'll talk about that later in the spoilers. He's unbelievable. I know some people don't like Kenneth Branagh, but I've always loved Kenneth Branagh. So he's a great director. He's a great actor. There's nothing he can't do. Hats off to him. So, how do I bring up Tenet without giving spoilers? This is going to be hard. I'm trying to find like a synopsis here that doesn't give away spoilers, but I don't think I can. Fortunately, the box office here has not been outstanding. It's only been 48.3 million in the States, but overseas it was 275 million because they were able to deal with COVID in a different way, and they're way ahead of us. So it made a lot of money. It still was in the fifth this weekend, so it made 2.7 million this weekend. And I think as more theaters open, more people will see this. Let me see here. Oh, I didn't see that. Let's look at some of these other people who are in this movie. Martin Donovan is in it. He was in Weeds. He has a small part in it. He's good in that. He's good in Tenet. Yuri Andrei Khalicheva. Oh, he was in Game of Thrones. He plays... Oh, that's frustrating every time I click on that. Wheeler, leader of the... Oh, okay. Wow. Okay, now I know who that is. So, another Game of Thrones, where Aaron Taylor Johnson is also in it. We can't really talk about what he does in it until Clemens Posey is in it. Himesh Patel, who was in EastEnders. Oh, here's where you've seen him. Yesterday. He was in Yesterday. So he's awesome. Even in this bit part, even though I haven't even seen Yesterday, you just know he's good. Let's see here. Fiona Dourif. Oh wow, I believe that's Brad Dourif's. I gotta believe that's Brad Dourif's. Is that Brad Dourif's daughter? Yes, it is. It's Brad Dourif's daughter. She's in it as well. Okay, that's about all I can say about things without really getting into spoilers. I've been talking for 10 minutes here. One thing before we get right into spoilers, let's just dive a little bit more into one thing that I thought was fantastic in this piece was the score. Ludwig Göransson, who did Black Panther, he brought that thing that Nolan sound that I thought was only, I thought that was kind of Hans Zimmer's sound for Nolan. But I guess he was able to bring it to, Ludwig Göransson was able to bring it to this film. And he hits all these right notes, and it's like the best of Interstellar mixed in with the best of Inception. It's like a combination of the two. And it just hits all the right notes. I've been listening to it while I work out. I've been listening to it while I get into the car. It just keeps this pace of moving forward, going. So, if you get a chance to listen to the score, good stuff. Now let's move in to spoilers. So let's see here, 12 minutes and 16 seconds, we go into spoilers. So I will tell you when it's over, and I will give you another timestamp when that ends. So, you have been warned. I'm going to talk about spoilers now. That's it. We're ready. All right, here we go. So, the opening of this film is... words can't describe it. It's so just striking. Striking is the best word I think I can come to, because you are not expecting it. They're all in this hall, and you're expecting music, and oh my God, these guns guys come out, terrorists shooting, and then it just moves forward and forward and forward. Just really hits you right where you live. You're right there. And you're just feeling all this. And I remember seeing it the first time, and I was just like, wow, okay, this is something different. And he sets, and going back, you can see that the first appearance of Neil is in that first scene. And he doesn't even have to really refer back to it. He just shows this little like clip thing, and that's in the back of his backpack that you'll see later on in there. And then when we get to Clemence Posey, she's the scientist introducing the inverted entropy that is happening and explaining the rules of this. I mean, Christopher Nolan is so good at explaining exposition. He will have them explaining exposition, but it doesn't feel like exposition. That's a real talent. Sometimes you get, directors, they'll just sit you there and you're just like, okay, yep, we get it. You're telling us the rules of it. But the way Nolan does it, it doesn't feel, it feels like it just flows. It doesn't feel like you're stopping to explain the rules. James Cameron was very good at that. He's still very good at that. I don't really want to go through this like scene by scene. I'm just going to talk about some of my favorite scenes. The Oslo airport part, where they crash a plane. That looks like they did that full scale. I'm going to find out right now. Let's see if they did do that full scale. They had that looked like that was done full scale, because Nolan likes to do things full scale. And when they hit that, they look like a stunt you could do. It's a very expensive stunt. But this whole thing, and then, him coming out and not knowing that we're going to go back to this, everything just works so well. He's become such a concise filmmaker. A concise filmmaker who doesn't leave anything, off the table. You're just sitting there, you're just like, oh, wow. That like, you can't really take anything out. It all fits. So they call John David Washington's character the protagonist. The protagonist. We don't really know his name. Yeah. Oh yeah. He's always called the protagonist. We don't actually know his name ever in the film. I didn't even realize that till just now. Yeah, he's the protagonist. The bungee jumping scene when they're trying to get to Priya, although they don't know that they're meeting Priya, they don't know that it's a woman. The scene where they're, with the trucks and having all 4 trucks, and that was full scale as well. And just this entropy and, going backwards. And Kenneth Branagh, he plays the Russian, he plays the bad guy. This is probably the first time we've really had like a real villain in a Christopher Nolan film. He's so well developed and written and just hits all the great notes that you need a villain to hit. You can tell the audience just wants him to get killed. When he finally does, they're like, kind of like, yay. You can kind of feel this sense of relief, because this plays around with a lot of time. And the way he plays around with time and things that you see, and then we go back to that scene. The ending scene is just terrific, spellbinding. I mean, that is just, wow, he's got all these elements crisscrossing, and it just feels like it flows perfectly. And the ending, everything works. I mean, for me, this may surpass The Prestige, which to me personally, that was my favorite film of Christopher Nolan's, but I think this might be the best. I mean, a lot of people love Inception, but I think this improves on all the things Inception didn't have as well. Inception kind of like switches points here, and he told this in 2 hours and like 6 minutes. He's gotten so amazing with this. And he wrote and directed this. This was not Jonathan Nolan, this was Christopher Nolan. Aaron Taylor Johnson, who plays Eves, a military commander, small role, but he makes it just live. I can't say enough. All of it fits perfectly. There's nothing there that you could take out. I know I keep saying that over and over again, but I'm excited and I just love this film. So if you get a chance to go see Tenet, go see Tenet. See it, enjoy it. Let's see here. We're at 18 minutes and 24 seconds. This podcast is already going a little long here with just Tenet. So go see it. Go see it. It's an awesome film. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I don't think anyone could not like this film. To me, this was the best film I've seen so far this year. And if they are serious about the Academy Awards being about filmmaking and being about diversity and all those things, which this film has in spades, this is the film that you should give Best Picture to. I think this should be Best Picture. I don't know if they'll do that, go that way. They're probably going to give it to the Aaron Sorkin film, but I think this film deserves to be there. It's just perfect. So that's what I've got to say about Tenet. Let's move on to a couple more things. Okay, so this week is Amazon Prime Day. I don't know about you, but I get excited usually it's in July or June. I think it's July. But because of COVID, we're getting it in October, even though we get Black Friday in November. But there should be some good deals. If you like Amazon, this is the time to buy things because we're going to get some interesting sales. I always enjoy Amazon Prime Day, so I'm excited. I can't wait for when Amazon Prime Day starts, which is Tuesday, 12 a.m. Be there. See it. It's going to be great. Hopefully it'll be great. Hopefully they won't mess it up. But they haven't done it so far, so I think Jeff Bezos has our back there. So this is the time to buy something. I'm reading a book called Wisdom Codes by Greg Braden. This is a good book. It takes a lot of religious writings and explains why they're important and what they mean. Like the Lord's Prayer, why that's important, why these words resonate. It takes a lot of the Indian culture. I can't pronounce all these words, but it takes the best of them and highlights them and explains to us why words matter and why these words matter. It takes a lot of Buddhist mantras, why these things resonate, and talks about that. So if you get a chance to read a nice book, it's called The Wisdom Codes by Greg Braden. The Ancient Words to Rewire Our Brains and Heal Our Hearts. So it's the Wisdom Codes, the Ancient Words to Rewire Our Brains and Heal Our Hearts. So if you have a chance to read that, it's a good read. It's a short read, but go read it. All right, so let's talk a little bit about politics. We had the vice presidential debate between Kamala Harris and Mike Pence, moderated by Susan Page. This is just frustrating to watch because none of these moderators stop these people and say, you're not answering the question. And I feel that's what the American people really want in these debates, is to find out the answer to the question. But it seems like what we're getting is a bunch of, distancing here, going there, going this, doing that. I mean, Mike Pence had some zingers on Kamala. Kamala had some zingers on that, played into that, self-titled thing. If you ever see the SNL sketch that they do with, her name escapes me, but she does a great job as Kamala Harris, and it looks like Jim Carrey is here to stay as Joe Biden, and they did a little The Fly thing, because I don't know who's doing this, but nobody told Mike Pence that there was a fly on his head for about 2 minutes. And at first you were kind of like, what is that? And then you realize, oh, he's got a fly on his head. So that was kind of funny, a fly on the head. I don't know, but my frustration with the debates is nobody answers the question from either side. I'm just like, they just ask them and then they go off on the side. And I'm like, I think it's the job of the moderator to stop them and say, excuse me, sir, but you did not answer that question. I know they think that, we have to be polite and we're giving them the 2 minutes. They don't actually have to do it. But if they're not going to answer the question, you're not going to hold them accountable for answering the question, then what good is a debate? People are watching debates to hear answers to questions, not to hear conjecture, not to hear a bunch of people just rant about stuff, not to hear them fight. We want to know where they stand on issues and answer these questions. And a lot of great questions were answered, were asked, but not answered. And that needs to stop. I mean, they don't answer the questions, and I'm getting tired of these debates. I don't think we're going to get any more debates from Donald Trump and Joe Biden, but it's just like these moderators need to stop being so polite and start saying, listen, excuse me, but the American people want to hear the answer to this question. And I don't think they're giving us that. So that's all I really have to say about politics. Not a lot has delved in. I mean, I know Donald Trump has started doing rallies again. I'm completely against that. I know his doctor approved that, but it's supposed to be 14 days quarantine. Some say 20 days quarantine. I feel we need to respect those things, and we're not. I thought Kamala, when she was asked the question about, the Supreme Court, she mentioned Lincoln. And I'm like, why didn't you bring up Merrick Garland? I mean, that's all you really need to do. So I thought that was a poor side on her side. I don't know. I just think Trump needs to take it a little easier right now. I know they want to get back on the campaign trail. This week we're going to have the Amy Coney Barrett hearings and stuff. So hopefully all goes well with those hearings. When I talk about politics, I don't really want to talk about politics in a partisan way. I want to just kind of give you the facts. This really isn't a political show, but I'm just kind of discussing little things that I've heard here and there, in the natural thing. But yeah, I don't know. These debates, they need to change. They can't be like this. So that's about all that we got for politics today. So I wanted to end a little bit with empathy. And I think that's something that we need to have more of. Now, I know somebody can upset you, and this person can make you mad. And you can see these people, yelling at you about this. But I think if we look at the person that is yelling and go, well, what is that other side going through? Maybe they're upset. I read a book. He tells a story about a guy who, he was like I don't want to say maitre d', but that's not the word. Concierge? Yeah, concierge at a hotel. And the guy was upset because they didn't have his reservation. And he yelled at him and yelled at him and yelled at him. And the guy that was writing the book said to him, how did you deal with that? And the concierge said, on another day, he's probably a nice guy. This just might not have been his day. And that thought made me think about, you know what? That's something we need to really look at. Like, maybe that's the wind. No, it's my AC, so I'm sorry about that noise. The mic's probably going to pick all that up, and there's nothing I can do about it. But what he said was, maybe, this wasn't his best day, but he's probably a nice day. He's a nice guy the next day I see him. Or maybe he's really a nice guy. It just wasn't his day today. And I think most of us, arguing together, how dare he? He's a jerk. He cut me off in traffic. He didn't do that. Instead of looking at what we need to be looking at, which is like, maybe this wasn't his best day. Maybe if we shared that gave him that empathy and understood that, we'd see him on the next day and say, that's a nice guy. You know? You only saw him that moment. But if you saw him in another moment, he's probably a really nice guy. So maybe if we stop judging everybody and started being a little more empathetic, I think we can be better as people. That's all I'm going to say. Amazon Prime Day is here. A lot of good things are coming. So I want to say thank you for listening. I appreciate every single one of you that listen. I've hopefully got some interviews coming up. I just want to say thank you. I mean, I really appreciate that. I try to give you everything I can and be as honest as I possibly can about everything and break it down to you. AC is just like roaring today. Fortunately, there's nothing I can do about that. As always, you can reach me at my handle, Justin Yance. You can tweet me. You can text me. Well, I haven't really given that out yet. Well, you can tweet me. You can Instagram me. You can Facebook me. I search all these things. You can message me. You can YouTube me. I'm on YouTube as well. And I'll tell you what I think. And I'll answer your questions, anything you got. So I want to say thank you. I love you all. And I mean that. I appreciate everything, every person that listens to this. And I want to say thank you. And I will see you next time on the DMF.